realized I had my mic on the whole time, so you've been singing, hearing me sing much more than I intended.
No, we didn't hear. No, it's not. I didn't know it was on.
So, let's be here. Let's breathe. And let's get comfortable. Get comfortable in your seat, whatever that means for you. Situating yourself around so that you know that the chair supports you, the floor supports the chair, and the earth supports the floor. And all you need to do is be here, right now. And in this moment, we consciously release what we don't need to hold on to, what we don't need to think about, be concerned about, be frustrated about, be anything about. That right now we can just be here. And we take this word faith, and we take this word imagination. And we remember that the daily word said imagination is an important first step, and it's not the last step. That we imagine, and our faith takes us forward into action at just the right time. So let's take this divine idea of faith and focus on that right now. With whatever it is we need to have faith in and for and through. So take your faith with you right now to a few moments of silence. As we return our awareness to this place and time, we do so with the deep knowing that this place of silence and contemplation is ours in any moment we choose to make it ours. We bring with us now that deeper realization and knowing of the strength of our faith and its ability to move us when it's time for us to move. For that and all else we give thanks, and so it is. Amen. Give me a little help and give me my next slide. Thank you. Okay. So the title of my talk today is That's Life. I think there's something going on with our light today.
Yes,
I think we need to let Board of Realtors know that the light is, I can see it right here and it's blue.
It's blue. Yeah,
the light is
blue.
projecting blue, so it makes things a little bit dark. But the title of my talk is That's Life. And then my follow-up question is, what's life? Right? What's life?
A magazine.
A magazine?
Oh, yeah.
There's an answer. Or we can look at this song, and I especially like the last couple of lines here. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and
Get back
in the
race.
race. Right?
So now,
And that's a lot of what life is. Picking ourselves up, saying, you know what? I'm going at this again. I'm going at this again. And our daily word today, faith, if that isn't just perfect, for helping us know that and move into that. I think, oh, there we go. Aren't some days like that though? It might be the forks and spoon tray, or it might be something else. That's what life is about that day. And things can be frustrating and annoying and irritating. At least we got our feet on something, right? We're grounded in something. Yet at the end of it, we know there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. I think I'm going to need help from you, and this is giving me some trouble.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so there's my follow-up. What's life? Eric Butterworth says, your thought is your life. He's got a whole chapter on this in this book, Discovering the Power Within You. Your thought is your life. Now, it might look like this. Your thought, right? It might look like coffee. It might look like it's bedtime. It might look like bang head here some days. It might look like a wee moa, right?
it's a song you can
Work and laugh. It might even, here's his feigned interest. Sometimes there's that fake it till you make it. That you're almost acting like you're interested in life in that day. Because you're going, tomorrow's, I had a couple days like that this week. Monday, Tuesday, I was in bed. I was sick. And I don't do sick well. I mean, I at least want to be walking sick so I can do something. Monday and Tuesday were not like that. I was sleeping. So sometimes life looks like that. Shin, can I have my next slide? Thank you. But when we look at this line, your thought is your life, from Eric Butterworth, we get it from all kinds of directions, really. The same message, Mahatma Gandhi. What you think, you become. From Buddha, we are what we think. And I love the follow lines. All that we are arises with our thoughts. The thoughts come first. With our thoughts, we make the world. We make our world, and don't we also make collectively the world around us? With our thoughts. With our thoughts, with our feelings that come out and manifest. We see this slide every single Sunday. It's part of our, I think we have it on with our mission statement from Romans. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that doesn't mean intellectual mind only. It means all this that we are. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is from Paul's letter to the Romans. Because Paul also knew that we are what we think. And if we want to experience something different and be in a different world, we need to adjust who we are, what we're imagining, right? What we're having faith in. Now I know, given the news, and it's been crazy again this week, it can be a real challenge to continue to have faith in the good, in what's good, in the divine path. And yet, that is ours to do. We need to hold the faith. My older sister sent me an email this week, and one of my nieces is having perpetual issues with trying to finalize a divorce with a fellow that really needs to be out of her life. And it struck me that when she emailed me and my brother and my younger sister, that underneath there was a message of, hold this thought for Kathy, right? Whenever anybody asks us, invites us into their lives in that way, there's really an underlying message that says, hold this thought with me. Hold this belief with me. Because sometimes it's hard to hold it for ourselves. It can be hard to hold it for ourselves, and we need other people to come in and hold it for us, and then pretty soon they're holding it with us, and then pretty soon we're holding it again. up on top of his head. I don't know if you can, it's hard to see. And the cat finally left him alone. The end. Right? So we have this little pseudo shark, right? And the cat finally left him alone. The end. You don't need to say any more than that. You are what you think, right? Or we have Henry David Thoreau. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. And there's part of our daily word again for today. And again from Eric Butterworth. The important thing is to be faced in the right direction. He talks about a question in there being asked, how will I ever get to where I want to go? The question is, how will I get to my Mount Olympus? How will I get there? And Butterworth's response is, just be faced in the right direction. And then make sure every step you take is in that direction. So it's that, again, it's that one step at a time, right? One step at a time. We watched the Academy Awards last Sunday. And some of those movies are real tributes and real stories, real tributes to people who have decided to take a step. And especially the documentary awards, and they just kind of make real short notice of that. But when people choose these documentaries and a story that's really important to them to tell, I remember years ago in my undergrad work, I took a class on the history of movie, the history of cinema, I think. And we had a story in there about a fellow, well, I was going to say 40 years ago. That's when I was in college, 40 years ago. So it would have been considerably before then, who decided he wanted to make a movie. And he charged his credit cards up to the limit, and he asked all his friends to be in the movie with him, and he made a movie, and he's a movie star and a director and a producer to this day, because he made that step, and he took that step in that direction. So there's our ultimate question, right? What are you thinking? This is Eric Butterworth. Perhaps we need, from time to time, to go out into our garden of accumulated knowledge of the truth and break down the trellises, okay? So sometimes we need to take a look at what we believe, what we think is our capital T truth, and really examine it and say, wait a minute, is that serving me? That is, not so sure about that. And ask, is that something it's time for me to let go of? Is that a piece of an old belief I don't need anymore, that I know isn't working for me? And break down the trellises and rebuild them, only as and if they can give support to the growth of the flowers of spiritual insight. Right? So he's really saying here, take a look at what you believe, at what you think here, and at what you think here in your heart. Examine it, rebuild it only as and if it gives support to the growth of the flowers of spiritual insight. Does this help me see the world in a clearer way? Does this help me see my life? Does it help me see people around me in a truer, more helpful, more supportive way? And of course, we have our Easter example coming up. You know, we're in Lent here, which is the season of giving up stuff that doesn't serve us, which is really where my message is about today. So we have our Easter example. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed. Peter bent down to look in and saw the linen wrappings lying there. So the stone was gone. The old beliefs, right? The old stuff that doesn't serve, the old stuff that gets in the way, the stone was gone. The tomb was empty. And what can we do with empty space?
Fill it up.
We can fill it with what works for us. But until we empty it, we can't refill it. That closet that's overflowing is never going to get the new stuff until we get that old stuff out of there. Okay? So, what stone do you want to roll away? And what space do you want to create? Because that's your life. Sorry, you can't even see the slides. Let's just. Okay, so what stone do you want to roll away? Go ahead. What keeps you stuck in a place? Oh, wait, look at the picture. What keeps you stuck in a place that doesn't work for you? There.
That's good.
What keeps you stuck in a place that doesn't work for you or that doesn't feel good? I know we have several cat people in the So what we're doing today at our tables, and we can have the lights back because I'm just going to leave it right there now for a couple minutes. What we're doing today as our intergenerational service, and this was an idea that Karen and Sarah and John brought to me. They said, how about if we have a discussion instead today about things that matter in our lives? So we're doing 2 discussion questions, and this is the first one. Now, if you want to be at your table of 2, you stay right at your table of 2, or your table of 1. I'll join you if you're here by yourself. Or if your table of 2 wants to join another table of 2, you can go ahead and do that. Because this is our first question. What stone do you want to roll away in your life? What keeps you stuck in a place that doesn't work for you, that doesn't feel good? So that's what we're going to talk about for 3 or 4 minutes.
Go.
Go. Do you want to put a song behind us? Kind of down low.
Bill. That's what keeps me in that space. Bill. What keeps you in that space?
I already did.
Yeah. That's the only thing that keeps me in the space. Bills. Huh.
I'm glad it was the lights and not my eyes. I couldn't see. That's
Yeah,
why
I know.
Out from behind the table.
Well, that's true. Bill's can be grounded too.
So what stone do you want to roll away?
So not only do they keep us stuck, but they keep us grounded. So that's an interesting.
And then when tax time comes, it's really easy